So, I watched Star Wars Visions yesterday and it was basically as good as I hoped it would be. I do have a ranking for them though. But anyway, I'm not going to ramble on for too long. Here are the episodes and let's put them in. So first is the Astro Boy, TOB1 episodes, or Toby, or Tobe1, I don't know, whichever one you want to call it. So this episode by Science Saru, the action scenes were really good. The visuals were a bit of a hit and miss for me, honestly, because the painted background did look really nice at times, but other times, I don't know, it just looked, dare I say, kind of amateur. I mean, I know they're definitely not amateurs. I mean, they had another episode in this, and that looked really good. But I just don't think the background, at least for me, worked in the way that I think they were hoping it would do. The story was okay, pretty much average. The characters were pretty good. I'm putting it in brilliantly average. So, the Duel. The Duel, that was the first episode. Very strong opening to the Star Wars Vision series, and definitely one that I think will get a lot of people to keep watching. It was a very bold choice doing this kind of black and white with colours here and there for like the lightsabers and things like that. I really liked that. The action scenes were brilliant too, and that umbrella lightsaber thing was just amazing. The plot wasn't like super amazing, there wasn't really that much to it. So I think because it was so striking, because it was such a strong opening, I'll put it up at amazing. It's kind of between these two, but in terms of visuals, I think it's just hitting amazing. It was really good and a really strong opening. Oh, and this episode, by the way, was by Kamikaze Doga. I hope I said that right. If I butcher any names in this, I'm really sorry. So this is the very last episode and was called, as I look through my notes, Akakiri, and that's by Science Saru. So, in terms of this one, it was actually the most comedic out of them. It was pretty good. I liked the two characters that were in it, that were kind of the comedy sort of characters. I really liked the ending too. With this episode, as well as the 8th episode, the one before it, I did want to see more of them after the episode finished, so it would be great if they do that. I kind of doubt they will do. Oh, and by the way, this is the same team that worked on the Toby, I keep wanting to say Astro Boy, the Toby shot. That isn't their drawing, limit is, the background, God, I can't speak. The drawing limit isn't the backgrounds in Toby. I mean, people say that as a joke, and I put it in as a joke, but I literally keep wanting to say it. Okay, so I'm gonna put it in brilliantly average. It was fine, along with that other shot. The Duel, this shot is definitely the most brilliant looking one out of all of them. It looks really good. I really like the artistic style that went with it. Really colourful. It's by Studio Trigger, who made Promare. Really wild film. This is, again, another quite wild shot in terms of just the extent of their imagination. I'll spoil a tiny little bit. There is a ship that is cut in half by a lightsaber. It's really epic. This is my favourite shot out of all of them, I think. I mean, it's kind of on par with another one that I'll get to in a bit, but really good shot. It was a bit slower at first. It did take a bit of time to get into the action, but I honestly was just blown away by the visuals at the beginning, so I was too busy looking at those anyway. I mean, I did take in the dialogue, but the visuals were enough, and that kept me through, so that's definitely so incredible. Okay, I do really hate the ordering that this is just randomly put them into, but this was Lop Ocho by Gino Studio. Pretty sure I pronounced those right. While the previous one I mentioned was probably the most beautiful looking one, this has to be the one that surprised me the most with just how much detail they crammed into this. Like, if you look at the cityscape at the beginning, it really did blow me away, especially that this is just for a shot. The story itself is really good, it really gripped me too. I really love the kind of family struggle that there was in there, and the whole backstory and all of that stuff, and the kind of villain twist, I guess you can say, within it. The fight scene was brilliantly done, really good fight scene. And again, this is episode 8, that left me wanting to really get more from this story. I want to have this as a series, like, it was really good. So, this is the one, why I said I don't like the ordering, this is the one that I kind of tied up with the twins, so it's gonna go right next to the twins in So Incredible. This one is The Village Bride, and it is by Cinema, or I'm just gonna say that, Cinema Citrus. So, I know a lot of people like this one. This is the one that didn't work for me at all. Well, maybe not at all. I mean, the visuals were really, really good. The sound was really, really good. When I say it doesn't work for me at all, the plot didn't work for me at all. It just left me really bored during it. It was basically a case of too much show and... no, the other way around. Too much tell and not enough show. And because of that, yeah, unfortunately, it's gonna have to just go in, didn't care for it at all. It didn't do anything for me other than the visuals. The soundtrack is way up there, but that just couldn't save it for me. The action scene was also really naff too. Yes, the character designs were good. Before, like, anyone comments that, I know, like, lots of people like the character designs. I did appreciate those. The next one... so, this was a really fun episode. This was something Rhapsody. Tatooine Rhapsody by Studio Colorado. This episode definitely had the characters that looked the cutest in them. I mean, you can see in these pictures they are like full on adorable. But the plot wasn't really that spectacular. I mean, the song in it was really good. I know that lots of people have this as their favourite actually. For me though, it could have been better. Visually it was good, the soundtrack was good, the characters were fine. That's the thing, I just couldn't really get to care for the characters. The plot was just fine for me. I did like it. Like, the one here, The Village Bride, is the only one that I actually didn't like. Bit of a spoiler there. But this one just could be better. The next one, and I'm gonna try and say this right, this one kind of weirdly felt like a feature film that's been shrunk down. There was a lot of things in there. Not necessarily that means that this one is better over the other ones because of that reason. It also was really, really interesting in the kind of logic that they gave to lightsabers, yes. It was very interesting in the logic that they gave to lightsabers. They had a very different logic to what is canon within Star Wars, but it made so much sense that I did have to ask my friend. I did have to ask him about what the logic was in regular Star Wars and see if it was similar to this one. It is actually different, but I thought this made the story really cool. I really, really liked the logic that they have with the lightsabers. I don't know why I keep saying sabers. I really like the logic that they had with the lightsabers. There was some really nice tension in this one too. The pacing was basically perfect in this. So for the Ninth Jedi by Production IG, I am going to be putting it in... let me think about this. It's actually really hard. It's kind of... I kind of want to put it between these two. I think I'm going to put it... I think I'm going to put it in So Incredible. I think it just about reaches there. It does a lot of things well, it's paced really well. The visuals are really good too, I don't think I even mentioned that. The soundtrack, as I said, is really good. I think it deserves the spot in So Incredible. And for the final one, there's the... forgot the name of this one, the other Studio Trigger one. There's the Elder, which I should have known about because the Elder is actually one of my favourite characters in the whole series, and I forgot the name of the episode. This episode was really, really good. It's not as good as the twins, like, none of them are as good as the twins, but this episode was really, really strong. It was styled very different visually to the twins, but it was styled really, really well still. I still did really like it. The characters were really nice. The Elder, as I said, was one of my favourite characters. I mean, it's no real spoiler that they get to see the Elder. Like, he's literally in the poster. The action scenes were really short, but very effective, very, very good, as is to be expected by Studio Trigger. The Twins episode was brilliant too. I feel like I might have forgotten to say that in there in terms of the action scenes. And the dialogue in this one really stood out to me as being really, really good dialogue. Really well-written dialogue. I did really enjoy the relationship between the two main characters in this one and how they dealt with the Elder, I guess you could say. But for me, it was just that little bit below the Ninth Jedi for me to kind of put it in the category below. So I think I'm just going to put it in amazing. So yeah, that's my tier of them. I'm going to leave it there. I hope you'll enjoy this video. If you want to add your own ranking to this, I'm going to leave a link to this down in the description down below. And if you just want to put it in the comments, you can fully put your rankings in the comments too. But yeah, I hope you all have a great day. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.